So you're thinking of visiting Casablanca. Hold on tight because this city is nothing like you'd expect. This city was a beautiful and perfect fusion of modern New York and ancient Arabian culture. Now this is everything you need to know about planning your trip to Casablanca. From seeing one of the largest mosques in the world to not wasting your time at a movie famous cafe, and obviously savoring that delectable cuisine. Get ready to crush your trip to Casablanca like a travel pro. Let's go. So now one of the main attractions of Casablanca is the Hassan II Mosque. Now it is one of the largest mosques in the world and it's the absolute beautifully stunning mosque. Now it was built in 1993, so it wasn't particularly that long ago, but it was built kind of by the people for the people. Now you can take tours inside the mosque and it's absolutely stunning. It has now become a public mosque. You do have to pay for a ticket. You can't just walk in. This is absolutely something I would recommend if you are going to Casablanca. The ticket is not particularly expensive. The ticket is only about 130 dirhams, so 12 USD. Obviously you can make it more expensive if you do like the hearing guides and all that kind of stuff. I did not do that. Now when you're inside the mosque, they say that you're not allowed flash photography, you're not allowed to take videos, normal pictures are fine. I decided to abide by those rules out of, respect, but within the little group that I was in, everybody and their dog was taking videos and flash photography. It was rather audacious, and the weirdest part is no one said anything about it. It's not like they were trying to be sneaky. They were very clearly, like that, and in front of the tour guides, to which they said nothing. But nonetheless, I decided not to, so I'm only gonna be supplying pictures. Now, when you walk inside the mosque, there is tour groups of different languages. You don't have to sign up for these. You just, when you go in at the start of a tour that starts at a set time, you just go to your group of the language you speak. They take you around the mosque. It's about 45-minute trip. They talk to you all about pretty much the process of what happens when you're in the mosque. It was super informative, a good cultural learning experience, and along with, again, it was unbelievably beautiful. Now they do have a museum as well that you can go into. That is a separate thing. I chose not to do that because I just wanted to go inside the mosque. And like I said, these tours are at a set time, so you can aim to walk around downtown Casablanca until the tour that you want to go on starts. I was walking along the Corniche, that is to the right side of the mosque. Beautiful walk. I explored into the waters as seen in my Instagram story, but this did allow for some pretty nice photos to come from it with the water in it. So like Egypt, Morocco is another place that has Madina Qadeemas, which is what they're called, but that's literally just the Arabic words of old city. It's the same essence as Khan al-Halili, and these are just kind of what it was like in the old city way back in the day. And Casablanca did have an absolutely beautiful one. It was very big, right downtown. It's near the mosque, so you can wrap it all into one day trip. But in the same sense as in Egypt and a few other Madina Qadeemas I've now been to, they're beautiful, they're amazing, they're very aggressive, and they're definitely tourist trapped. I would absolutely recommend going to this one. But again, I wouldn't aim to buy anything expensive, maybe a knickknack, but even then, make sure you're haggling and it's still gonna be very overpriced. But it's still an absolutely beautiful place to take in for that lovely cultural feel. But the one tip that I do recommend is they had a lot of street food in this one that weren't just big restaurants. It was more like people with their own little stands, and within those stands, they were very, very cheap. So I would definitely recommend aiming to get your snacks there. Big things to see, as stated online, is Rick's Cafe. If you don't automatically know what that is, like I didn't, it is the movie famous cafe from the movie Casablanca. I'll be honest, I've never even seen that movie. I just know it's very old. And when I looked it up online, because I was like, I'm not gonna not visit it. I looked it up online, and for the exact same meals I had already been, eating or seeing in other restaurants, this restaurant had some other meals, but the standard fee for the meals that I have been eating was around 30 dirhams. You know, the more expensive ones were like 60 dirhams, but this place was like 190 dirhams. So I was like, I don't care that much to go to some movie cafe of a movie I haven't seen to pay 6 times the amount of money for. And as well, when I had gone there, you know, it being called the cafe, call me misinformed here, but I walked up to the front door and I was just like, hey, I want to get a coffee. And they go, no, what do you mean no? I'm like, I can't just come in and get a coffee? They're like, no, it's a restaurant. I was like, okay, but I'm like, I can't just sit at the bar and get a coffee because online it said, enjoy a coffee at the bar in Rick's Cafe. So that's exactly what I asked for, and they're like, no, absolutely not. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, that was awesome. See you never. It's something you can walk by for sure. Maybe reminisce if you've seen the movie. Unless if you have some attachment to this movie, I would honestly say you could probably just skip this altogether. So the food in Casablanca was absolutely amazing. There's a few different dishes. I will be having a video of my Moroccan food tour that will go more in depth, but some basic ones, tagine, harira, couscous, and a few others. Now the key takeaway for food while you eat in Casablanca is definitely to price shop at different restaurants, because I found there was wide range for prices. I found places with the exact same tagine dish, 30 was about the lowest, upwards to 130. So that's a crazy difference. So don't just go to the first restaurant you see and be like, ooh, tagine. I would personally say shop around. Most places have their menus outside on the sidewalk. There's a restaurant every 5 feet. Another place in Casablanca is Mohammed V Square, Arab League Park, and the Sacred Heart Cathedral. Now these are all very, very close. I would definitely recommend going to see them, but of the 3, the Arab League Park is definitely the best. The Sacred Heart Cathedral is a stunning church. It's all white and you can see it perfectly fine from the park. So there's not really much you can do with it. It's gated, but you can take pictures from the park. If you walk out onto the street, you can walk down and take pictures of the front of the church for some beautiful style pictures. But otherwise, there's not much else going on with it. Mohammed V Square, arguably I would say you probably don't even need to visit it because it was kind of a waste of time. Its main attraction is pigeons. And like when you go there, I mean there are thousands of pigeons. It's a neat sight to see for the fact that it's not worth seeing. It's just a normal kind of like town square-esque thing with a fountain in the middle, but the main attraction again is the pigeons. The fact that there's literal people that bring feed and then give it to people to put in their hands so that they can play with pigeons. Tell you, they're like, come here, come here, come here, and then they give you it, and then they have pigeons eat off your hands. It's like, ooh, congratulations, it's a pigeon. It's not like some cool bird, but otherwise, the only part of it is just pigeons, so it's not a must-see by any means. Arab League Park was absolutely stunning. It was a huge park that you could walk around and explore. It had so many different things. It had a mini little slide park for children. It was crazy. It had so many different slides and you ripped down those slides. Oh my God, this is a giant slide park. Do I go down it? Because you bet your ass I'm about to go down this fucking slide. It's kind of steep. Holy shit! Pick up steam. So I would say make the objective of your day to go to the Arab League Park, and then as the bonus you can check out this Mohammed Square Pigeon Zoo, and then you can take some pictures of the Sacred Heart Cathedral, but the main object should be that park. I spent a few hours there, honestly, just walking around, taking in the beautiful trees, the park as a whole. It was well worth it. And then the other things were just the bonus. One of the other things to explore while you're in Casablanca is the Corniche as a whole. I did the right side one of the Hassan Mosque, but on the left side of Casablanca, there's one called La Corniche, and it's a very long one. It's also one of the notable things to do, which is walk along that Corniche. Lastly, visiting the Royal Palace, which seems like a ooh, ah type of thing you can do, but it's really not. Because the only thing you can actually do there is take a picture of the outside front gate, but the doors are always closed. So overall, the top things to actually do in Casablanca are Hassan Mosque, Madina Qadeema, walking the Corniche, and Arab League Park. The bonus items of doing them while you're near them would be the Mohammed V Square pigeon attraction, the Sacred Heart Cathedral, Rick's Cafe, and the Royal Palace, and El Hank Lighthouse. Now this part's pretty me specific, but there's a skate park just beside that park. Shut the fuck up, look what I found. So that was super fun because obviously I had my longboard and then I went there to take pictures. I even had some lad let me borrow his skateboard.
My new homeboy let me use his skateboard.
And then on the topic of skateboarding, one of the more interesting things that I found within Casablanca is unbelievably smooth sidewalks. It was the greatest thing ever for having a longboard. It's poured concrete, but the only weird thing is there was no like descending sidewalks. It was just curb, road, curb. So whoever designed it was like, skateboarders are gonna love this, but we're gonna stop people from skateboarding by having curbs everywhere. So you have to get on and off your board every 2 seconds. But again, that's a me thing. So while I was there, I stayed in Maarif, which was where my Airbnb was. Now, I think that is an excellent place to stay while you're in Casablanca. Now, Maarif is just outside Casablanca. It's like a little suburb. It's more inland, and it looks far away, but honestly, it's really not. The center of Maarif, just using Google Maps, says it's a 1 hour walk from the Hassan Mosque. But an hour walk isn't that bad, because sure, you can stay in the heart of downtown Casablanca, but all the houses are mostly the same from what I found on Airbnb, but obviously the closer you got into downtown, the more pricey it got. But all the places that were in Maarif, they were actually a lot cheaper. I think is well worth saving what was almost like $20 a night. I was floating around $32 a night, and right downtown it was anywhere from 50 to like 150. That was for crazy riads. So my recommendation for a place to stay would be the Maarif suburb, as it is kind of the centerpiece of all the attractions you can see. I did take a specific path that could be put all into one day for an easy flow of activities. So starting here, you could go to the Arab League Park. I went in the morning and it was lovely just to kind of take in everything, get some fresh air, and then you can see the Sacred Heart Cathedral. You have to walk onto the road anyway, so you can take more pictures. Mohammed V Square is there as well. You can keep going and then you'll hit that Madina market. Now this whole area here is the market. Rick's Cafe is at the end of it. The Corniche that I was on to the right of the mosque for those beautiful kind of waterside mosque shots. And then the Hassan II Mosque itself. And then you can keep walking along this Corniche to get to the El Hank Lighthouse, and then walk along the other Corniche to get to the Corniche, and then you can make your way back. Whether you're right downtown Casablanca or you're more in the Maarif, this would kind of be that full circle within one day. But again, you can stretch this out over 1, 2, 3 days. So now my real raw review of Casablanca, it was quite amazing and I absolutely loved it, but realistically, you don't need to stay there that long. I wouldn't make Casablanca my destination. I would make it part of a trip to Morocco, where you're going to see Casablanca, Marrakesh, Rabat, Tangier, and Fez. Casablanca could easily be done in one day. Starting at 10 a.m., hustling around, you could see everything I mentioned and be back at your hotel by 6 p.m. Or if you had a layover and you wanted to spend one day, I was there for 4 days. One whole day I used for editing videos, but the other 3 is when I went out and did everything that I had said in this video. I went out at around noon and I kind of explored very slowly until about 5, 6, and I split everything I talked about over those 3 days, but it would quite easily be doable, honestly, all in one day. And as I said, it was nothing like I expected, because I was picturing something similar to what I came from Egypt, but this was indeed like a modern metropolis in Casablanca. When I got to Fez, that is what I was expecting Casablanca to be closer to. But no, Casablanca is a modern metropolis. It's a full-blown city, but then it does have those ancient charms kind of within it, seen in the architecture, the street food, and the people. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to keep following along for more raw, real reviews and travel tips so you can travel like a pro. Check out my video on how to pack your backpacking backpack for more efficient packing so you can bring more stuff or bring more stuff home.
Have I longboarded my way into your heart yet? I hope so.